Hey, welcome to the Restoration Soul Care Podcast, where we have honest conversations about faith, neuroscience, and hope. I'm Michael Camber, a relationship and recovery coach.
And I'm Nick Buddha, a mental health and relationship coach. If you feel stuck in shame, addiction, or pain, you don't have to face it alone. Join us for some real stories, real tools, and a real path forward. Let's dive in.
Well, here we are. Welcome back to the Restoration Soul Care Podcast. We're back in studio today again in a balmy 111 degrees studio.
It's 20 degrees outside and it's 100 degrees in here. So,
yeah. And it's not relative. It's literally just very hot in here.
Yeah. Well, major life update.
Oh.
Michael and I now have the same hair stylist? Barber? What's the term?
Enthusiast.
Hair enthusiast?
I'm just kidding.
Hair
I don't know.
extraordinaire.
Yeah.
No, mine moved away to my home state of Michigan.
Yeah.
And so now Michael and I, once connected at the same business, are now connected with the same person. So if this individual moves or does something that changes, we're both in bad shape.
Yes. In big picture, this is really helping us on our goal to just become the same basic looking white dude.
Mm-hmm.
So our hair will eventually start morphing to.
We're getting there. Kind of quarter zip situation.
Quarter
jeans,
brown
shoes. Look, we didn't even talk this morning about it.
We're both married to women. I'll cut that out.
Please don't.
Okay.
Our neuroscience series here.
Yeah, get us back on track.
Come on, we got to regroup. We're excited that it's going to culminate in this third episode, which we hope to finish today. So we'll see what happens.
We're going to do our darndest.
We wanted to unpack some of the neuroscience behind porn addiction and compulsive sexual behavior because it really informs our healing process. And I would even say a stronger way of addressing that is, unless you are addressing these factors informed by neuroscience, you're probably not going to walk towards lasting freedom. Do you disagree with that?
No, I don't. And before we get too deep in the weeds, I want to talk about this real quick.
Ooh, yeah. Speaking of informed practices.
Hey, I gave away some of these last week after that episode aired, and I was super excited about that.
Come on now.
What I didn't tell everybody is that I ordered more of these than I said I was giving away. So let's give some more of these away. So if that's you and you want to dip your toe into how do I get started of quitting pornography, I mean, look.
Well, look, I was just going to say, the width is very, very chewable.
Don't let that deter you because the quality is excellent, Nick would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, I tried to make this as simple and as easy as I possibly could to get started. So
listen, most guys are not going to pick up a textbook or even a huge chapter book on recovery. They're like, give me some practical steps.
Yep.
And you did an awesome job with that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. If that even feels like too much to text me to get one of these, you can go to the website, rscky.com/quick start, and you can just download it for free. You don't have to talk to anybody.
Yeah. Might as well get a PDF.
Might as well get a PDF. You can draw on it. You can
put clip art on
it.
You can
put clip art. Clippy.
I was just using him as a Apple sticker the other day. So, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Is that really his name, Clippy?
I think so.
The paperclip? Yeah.
The
giant eyes.
Yep.
All right. Today.
Back on track. Here we go.
We want to give you 4 neuroscience-informed strategies or practical steps.
Practical steps. I like that.
That can really, I would even say, skyrocket your recovery in terms of building lasting sobriety and obviously addressing what's going on in your brain-body connection. Here's the first one, and man, it sounds super simplistic, but we're going to unpack it. And it's the whole idea of cutting your ties with porn, making a hard line in the ground and saying, I'm done, no more. Not even a little bit. You could use the term abstinence. Seems kind of formal to say that. But whatever imagery you have in your mind, I kind of think of like, hey, I'm burning the bridge. I'm done. No more. Even though I may feel a desire to do it, I've made a mental decision in my brain to say, no more.
Yeah. It's not just I'm quitting today. It's a hard line in the sand, like you said, swearing it off. I'm done with porn. I'm done. No more.
And here's why we're starting here and why this is maybe arguably the most important one, is because unless you starve that chemical to action reinforcement, right? So unless you stop looking at pornography and releasing those chemicals and making those connections stronger and stronger, you're really just going to be accommodating to that same brain structure throughout your life.
Yep.
Same hormones are going to be crying out. Same connections are still going to be looking to be reinforced. So really what we're looking to do is, I get the image of like demolishing a structure. Like we're just trying to clear the building site.
Yeah.
Like let's start fresh. But maybe let's go back to the episode we talked about baselines.
Yep.
So we said your brain is looking to establish a healthy baseline. It looks a little bit different for everybody. But what a healthy baseline does is allows you to be able to use both parts of your brain, your front part of your brain and your limbic system. And it allows you to do that in such a way where you're not forced through a huge wave of chemicals to feel a certain way or to have your body respond a certain way. Clinical term is homeostasis. Homeostasis for Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens.
I'm going to derail this for just a second.
Please do.
This just came to mind. My original exposure to the word homeostasis was from a little film from the mid to early 90s, I believe, called Biodome with Pauly Shore.
I
and
love that movie,
Stephen
dude.
Baldwin, maybe?
No, it's Pauly Shore and Brendan Fraser.
It's not
Brendan Fraser. No.
It's one of the Baldwin brothers.
Fact check, guys.
Bro, check me on this.
No. Who's the guy? He was also in... Well, okay, we're going to find this out. We'll keep talking.
There's, the premise of the movie is that they get stuck in this, what do you call it? A bio... what do they call it?
Yeah, like a biome.
A biome, that might be the word, where it's like an artificial enclosed rainforest system on Earth Day. They get sort of trapped in there, and the computer over the loudspeaker keeps telling that it's trying to reach homeostasis. But of course, these two buffoons, and they're totally just wrecking it, like they're urinating into the water river, and they're leaving like beef jerky wrappers laying around and just random stuff. One of the scientists who are there legitimately goes mad. It's just a goofy movie. I'm not saying
90s,
I recommend
right?
it.
Classic 90s?
Oh, yeah, classic, crass, goofy 90s.
Yeah.
Well, it's Pauly Shore.
By the way, I need to learn to trust you more. It was definitely Stephen Baldwin. So a win again for Michael Camber.
Yep, that's right.
Homeostasis in the brain. What we're talking about.
Homeostasis, bring it
healthy,
back.
natural release of neurotransmitters. So the same ones that we referenced, go back and listen to the episode, please, so we don't repeat everything here. Let me just focus in, especially dopamine, we're not riding these huge super normal ranges and then crashing really low. We actually have a manageable up and down cycle that is very edifying to live through. So that regulation cannot happen unless there's first a period of what we would say is abstinence or cutting ties completely.
Yep.
Here's a question. Can you go through like physical withdrawal symptoms with pornography?
For sure, man. It's like like a couple episodes ago, we talked about the word dependency.
Yep.
And anytime you develop a dependency upon a thing, a substance, a habit. Gosh, I cannot talk. A habit. What's a habit? Habakkuk. Yeah.
Habakkuk.
Excuse me. Anytime you develop a dependency upon something and then that thing is removed, you go through a withdrawal phase because your brain, your body are used to this thing that now doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right? It would sort of be like if you broke a leg and you were using crutches, and before your leg had fully strengthened and developed so that it could stand on its own again, somebody just walked up and kicked your crutch away and said, "Hey, look, now you don't have this crutch thing.
Yeah.
You can just walk now." And you're like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Now I have nothing to lean on. So of course I'm going to fall over and not walk.
Yeah.
And my leg's going to hurt more now. So
And let me break this down. We like telling guys about this, not because it's like good news or happy news or enjoyable to think about, but because it's not going to kill you.
right.
So like, here's what we say. Most of the time, if you're true to your abstinence, you're not even messing around or, playing around the fence or stimulating some of that through arousal or triggers. if you're really being disciplined to abstain from any form of like sexual arousal outside of a healthy marriage relationship, usually that withdrawal, and what does it look like practically? Sometimes it's low energy. I've even heard people report headaches, even some other somatic body symptoms like pain in certain areas. But most of it's mood.
Yeah, have you
Mood,
ever tried
energy. I've heard of sleep disruption.
Yeah.
A lot of those things.
Have you ever tried to quit caffeine?
Oh, yeah.
Probably similar. Headaches.
Somewhat relatable. Yes.
Grumpiness.
Yeah, different chemicals. Very good analogy for another connection. But here's the good news. Like the vast majority, this is actually proven in studies, is to re-regulate, right, to your healthy baseline, generally can take about 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks.
Yep. And that's pretty quick.
It is. In the long term of things, 2 weeks when you're feeling like crap, I get it. Hey, it sucks. And we're going to talk in a second how to walk through that. But at the same time, it's like I can already see the light at the end of the tunnel. Mm-hmm. Like if I feel crappy for 2 weeks, but knowing that I've accomplished something super epic, like I've restored or at least made my baseline a little bit more flexible, man, it's so worth it that we say, please just stick with it. Yeah. Stick with it. Yeah. Let's talk about maybe some of those practical things that can sustain a person through that struggle period. Yeah. What comes to mind first when you work with guys in coaching? What do you recommend?
Well, to piggyback on what you just said, I think it's really helpful to set expectations. If I can say, here's what you're going to experience in the next few weeks, it helps people sort of go, okay, so when I hit a wall and I feel like I'm going to lose my mind because I'm grumpy, I'm angry, I'm withdrawing, this is expected. It's part of the plan.
You can say, this is normal. Okay. We can plan on this.
It gives you a little extra fuel in the tank to go, okay, this is part of the plan. I can work the plan. And what I also try to teach guys early on is when we're going through this, there is, I didn't come up with this, but there's so much truth to it. We call it the 90-second urge window. Mm-hmm. Most of those urges to chase the dopamine or go to pornography use rise and fall and sort of crest like a wave, and they come back down within about 60 to 90 seconds. Yeah. So if you can just take a deep breath and be present to what you're experiencing in that space, even just saying out loud, man, I really feel like going to porn right now, or man, I really feel like masturbating, and just sit and be patient with that, you will gain so much in terms of like what we talked about, like rewiring some of those pathways. Here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying just sort of grit your teeth and power through and ignore the urge and stay on autopilot and try to power through it. That's not what this is. You do that, you'll wind up back in porn. Being present to the urge, the thing that's you feel like is disrupting you in the moment, paying attention to that, being present to it, is the path forward. When you can do that, you will feel the urge to chase the high, but you'll teach yourself in that moment. You'll tell your body, you'll tell your brain, we can survive this. It's okay. This urge isn't going to kill me.
Yeah. And what I often partner with or have a side conversation with clients about is, what does self-care actually look like? Mm-hmm. Like we use that term a ton, especially in our current culture of like, maybe we're to honor self-care, and I think it's become somewhat distorted in some conversations. But healthy self-care is giving yourself permission to be in a state of need, right? In a state of, I'm not feeling great, I don't have my same energy, I'm just kind of down today. Like honoring that and not feeling like I have to hide it or avoid it or accommodate, but then also finding healthy ways to address it. So a lot of simplistic answers for healthy self-care is like just taking care of your body. So like if you're going through those 2 weeks and you're like, man, I'm just more tired, I have less energy, give yourself permission to take a nap or sleep longer. Give yourself permission to like, I'm not feeling great today, I may take an appropriate medicine like ibuprofen or Tylenol. Or I'm going to like take have some dignity for myself, and I'm still going to like, I'm not going to sleep and stay in bed all day. I'm going to maybe sleep a little bit more, but at the same time, I'm still going to dress, go to work, be proud of myself, even though I'm not feeling 100%, like take pride in my work or what I'm doing. And maybe the most important one, which is going to connect to another thing we're going to talk about, but is staying connected to people.
Yeah.
So a integral part of self-care is I am known and connected to people who care about me and who are going to walk with me, but also respect where I need space. So if in this 2-week period you're living in isolation, that's not gonna be good.
Not gonna work.
So please try it. Like, invite somebody into that season to say, hey, I'm really working on this step of cutting ties, resetting my baseline, brain baseline.
Yeah.
Can you just check in on me? Can we talk? Maybe, whatever is most appropriate for that person. So bottom line, stay connected.
Yeah, and I like to encourage people out of the gate, and I just had this conversation meeting with a new client this week, that if you have a person in your life who's already sort of this accountability person, if you want to call it that, who you already have this relationship with where you can show up and tell the truth about yourself, it's a safe place. This is my person that I can trust with all of me.
Yeah.
And we start working through our relapse prevention plan, looking at, okay, well, if we relapse, here's our response to that. If we hit a trigger or one of our guardrails, here's our response to that. And what can feel overwhelming is somebody will say, I'm going to be calling this person a lot in the next week.
Yeah.
And my response is, yeah, you are. And that's okay. Here's what I encourage people to do. Call them, like the first thing you do when you leave my office, call them, hey, I'm working through this relapse prevention plan. I'm working with a coach. He's asked me to make sure I have somebody to check in with more regularly or more frequently this week.
Yes.
Are you okay if I call you a few times a day more than normal to check in relapses or check in my triggers? Yeah. And of course, that person's going to say,
every time I've heard, absolutely. And they feel honored and excited to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we've just removed this barrier of, it's probably a shame barrier, right?
Yep.
I can't show up and call you because you're going to think I'm a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Or I think that about myself already. But when we overcome that, like you just crossed a huge barrier. That's a massive milestone because you've taken the courage to call those people when you don't want to, when you don't feel worthy. Yeah. And then when that other person picks up the phone and says, yeah, I'm here for you, we're reinforcing all of the good things that we need to transition to away from the old way of thought. And in that, I love the word trainable. Like we're training because you trained your way into pornography use, and now we're training our way out of it.
Exactly. And actually,
go ahead.
I was just going to say that same point. I know what you feel. It feels like you're not doing anything. You're just like, okay, I'm not going to pornography. But here's what your body is doing in the background. It's naturally saying, oh, man, we're not getting those highs, those waves anymore. So it's naturally increasing those needed neurochemicals.
Yes,
like
that's right.
You're naturally increasing your natural production of serotonin, dopamine, all those ones that we mentioned. And it's beginning, again, to reassociate it with I can't help but use the word natural, but like things that are meant to be the normal fulfillments of those things in every day, not these supernatural or super normal experiences. And again, I would say too, be careful of, even if you call it self-care, be careful of replacing porn with something else.
Right.
Because you're like, well, I'm just caring for myself. Two big examples that I've seen with clients is some screen fixation, video gaming, movies, social media. They're like, well, it's not porn. But at the same time, you're kind of escaping again, and you're reinforcing that I'm dopamine dependent on these things. The other thing that's I've seen most common is food.
Yeah. Food.
So sugar, carbs, other forms of stimulants, they become dependent on that kind of boosting them. So just be careful of that. I can already tell we're not going to hit all four in this episode, and that's okay. Because I think we want to slow down and not rush through it. Let's talk about really quick before we move past this point. What are kind of the top strategies to actually make abstinence happen? Because I think it's it's really foolish to think just, hey, go out there and do it and be like, well, wait, like I'm triggered all the time. Yeah. And I have all these things coming at me. I can't just like suddenly decide I'm going to be abstinent in my own willpower.
Right.
That's never what we tell guys to do. Mm-mm. Like just as much as you have a plan for sustaining yourself through it, there's also a plan in place to guard yourself from temptation, if you want to use that word, or being triggered, or even just being bombarded, because your body's naturally going to want to gravitate towards it. And that's, again, completely normal. Here's one tactic I've used, one really helpful tool. We call it an escape plan. I've also heard it called a fire drill. I'm pretty sure we've mentioned it in other episodes. Here's what I'd say with it. It's a memorable, so you can memorize it in your head. You don't have to look at a piece of paper and be like, what do I do again? I encourage guys to do 3 steps that engages your body, mind, and your heart. Mm-hmm. So what I mean by that is do something physically to reset your, again, usually it's your aroused state. So I want to re-engage my body, leave the room, maybe do a physical activity, maybe jump in a cold shower or something. Their mind is, I want to get my mind focused on what is true and good. So again, it could be rehearsing a statement. It could be, I've even heard guys have something that they actually physically bring up that gets their mind and their thinking on what's important to them. Whatever can help re-engage your thinking on what's true and good. Mm-hmm. And the last thing is your heart, which means we want to engage the immaterial part of you, your emotions, but also, again, your relational wiring, your relational reality.
Relational reality.
So that's why I encourage guys to say, at the very least, maybe what you can do is call a guy.
Yep.
It's ideal if part of your escape plan was like, I'm going to go be with this person, but that might not actually be feasible at all times.
Right.
But like if you have that person in your life, in your recovery, that they're saying, hey, is it okay I call you at 2 a.m.? Just if I'm in that state, can you be part of my escape plan? Man, it's powerful.
Yeah. And you got to take advantage of that. Like nobody's going to force you to do that.
Right.
You have to own what you're after, the change that you're after, to the point where you take action to go get it.
Yeah.
There's no shortcut for that.
What else do you think of in terms of like, what do I need to put in place to actually make abstinence happen?
Well,
there was if there's only this practical little book that could be written about.
Gosh, wouldn't that be helpful? Here's what I'm going to show you. This is the part 2. Name your triggers and wounds. And I'm saying this specifically, one, because guess what? There's a part in here that says take action. So you can actually write this down.
I can write in the book.
You can write in the book.
This is great.
This is important because you'll have a really hard time making a good plan of attack if you don't do data gathering. And naming your triggers and wounds is data gathering. You're, in the clearest sense that you possibly can, writing these things down, reflecting on it. What actually grabs my attention? What triggers me? What brings up this arousal state in me to want to start the pursuit of pornography? Be as crystal clear as you possibly can about that. Write it down. Share that in community with somebody that you trust. Ask them for input. Do you see any blind spots I'm missing?
Yeah.
And like work through that, because when you get crystal clear on those things, well, then you go to make your fire drill or your plan of escape, and it's concrete. Like it's grounded in reality, and it's not like hypothetical. Well, I think if I'm driving down the street and I see a billboard with a woman in a bikini or in her underwear, then maybe I'll do this. That you're not going to do anything.
Yeah. Like when we say, okay, be as specific as possible, we say like, name the device, because it's usually device oriented.
Right. Name it.
Or name the outlet. Like, so it's usually, for most guys, it's on my phone. Okay, when? Well, it's most frequently like at night or right away in the morning when I'm waking up. What specifically is the trigger? Is it like tied into I start on social media, then I spiral out here, or I start on YouTube, and then that goes to this, that, and this? Be as specific as possible to that chain effect, those triggers. And also the wounds. So when we're talking about, it's like, it's usually when I'm bored, or it's usually when I'm lonely. It's usually when I'm sad or overwhelmed. Man, know that and identify it. And that's, to piggyback on that, man, I'm so glad we cited that, is the idea of barriers and boundaries.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is to say, okay, if I've identified my phone, social media eventually leads at or something like that, and I'm acting out, what are the boundaries and barriers I need in my play in those spaces to logically protect myself?
Yeah.
Is that a filter on my phone? Is it giving somebody else the right to put restrictions on this device? Is it to say, I'm going to stop using this device altogether? Michael and I are big fans of saying, you will never regret going to the extra mile to protect yourself. Every time we've seen guys give themselves wiggle room, it always ends up being a doorway to relapse. So a mentor of mine used to say, like, Nick, put yourself into a corner where there's no way you can get around it.
Yeah.
And that's difficult. I get that.
It's very difficult.
You got to think through how could I possibly get around? How can I skirt around these barriers? And how can I protect myself even from that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it takes some work. I get it. But I tell you, again, if you're like, what's the nth degree I can go with guarding myself? Actually, a friend of ours, won't say name, talked about how difficult it was to basically go from a smartphone to a dumb phone, and how impactful it was for this journey. Man, and I applaud him significantly for it.
Yeah, I'm eventually gonna finagle us a endorsement deal with a company called Lightphone. They don't know this yet. I've never talked to them, but I love.
I'm also a fan.
Their product. Every time I see it and look at it, I'm like, is today the day I'm gonna buy this just to mess with it?
Yeah.
It looks great. But another way that I used to think about this early on in my journey, I use this phrase, healthy self-sabotage. Because there's a version of you who, what do you call post-nut clarity? There's a version of you in that space who is thinking way more clearly than the you that is loaded up with dopamine. And the part of you that's thinking clearly in that moment can work to sabotage the other part of you so that when you get to that dopamine-seeking phase, you are heavily limited and restricted in what you can actually go to and access in that moment. So if you're in that place, like, take advantage of that. And one of the phrases I say with guys all the time is don't waste your relapse.
Yeah.
If you do relapse or you screw up or you do use porn or masturbate, like, analyze the heck out of that. Like, if you come into my office and you have a relapse and we've been working together for a little bit, we're going to whiteboard the heck out of that. And we're going to see where the breakdown happened, what went wrong, and then how we can pivot our strategy to keep moving forward the next time.
And if you want to start doing that on your own or with your accountability partner, go to risky.com/reflect.
Yeah.
And you can download the worksheet that we often give or basically work through in our coaching sessions.
That's right.
And begin compiling that data to actually serve you. Awesome. I'm going to move the second one because I think it's related. But it's the idea of learning how to be aware of and to calm your nervous system.
Yeah.
We're like, what the heck's my nervous system? It's the part of your body that's actually coming down your spine. Sorry. Yes. No. It's basically the whole electrical circuit system that is, flipped on to the highest degree when that part of your brain, again, the limbic system, says, hey, we're in alert mode. And it's not necessarily in fight or flight mode. It's in arousal mode and excitement and searching mode. So what we're saying is when we learn to recognize that like, hey, I'm just on right now. Some guys, you like to use the word, I feel flooded. I feel overwhelmed. Use whatever word that makes the most sense of your sensations. But what we want to learn to do in that moment is, what do I do in that physical state? By the way, the reason I hit this next is because in my mind, this is an appropriate application of self-care. Like, not just people who struggle with porn. Every human being deals with having a nervous system that can be flipped on.
Yeah.
And again, it could actually be from being nervous, being anxious. It could actually be other stimulating activities. But in this case, what we're talking about is specifically arousal, or when I'm withdrawing from that relapse or my compulsive behavior, and my nervous system's like, bro, we got to go. Like, you're starving me and I need it. So what do we do with our body? So just maybe for the rest of this episode, we'll talk about how do you calm your nervous system? How do you regulate it, maybe I can say? Because it never just turns off. It's a good thing. It keeps us going. It keeps us awake.
Yeah.
And even when we sleep, actually, it's important. Let's go right to practical. I think we all kind of know what it's like to have, like for me, if my nervous system's on, I feel a little bit more on edge, have a little bit of extra energy. Sometimes I can be irritable. What do you tell clients in terms of what to do in that state?
Yeah. Step one, just notice. Oftentimes in life, we get busy trying to go from one thing to the other, and we might know that something's off, but for one reason or another, we tell ourselves that it's not worth the effort to slow down and attend to it. So we typically just keep sort of powering through. And then at that point...
I was going to say, by the way, I'm saying this as guilty of it.
Oh, for sure.
I use the energy without even thinking, hey, wait, I'm kind of dysregulated right now. but I almost feed off the energy and try to go get busy or do something else. Yeah, and that can actually be a disservice. But go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, to that point, I think a lot of people do that. I certainly do. And what happens is that it doesn't just go away.
Right.
Right? The expression time heals all things is far from true. And time doesn't heal your nervous system, or time doesn't regulate your nervous system.
Yeah.
It's part of it, but not all of it. And I'm saying that because it will just keep getting louder until it sort of makes you stop and pay attention to it. And that could be lashing out at somebody, snapping at your kids or your wife, or flipping somebody off as they're speeding by you on the road. It's going to come out at some point, and then, like we just talked about, we're looking for relief.
Yeah.
So our brains and our bodies, like we said a second ago, like you've trained a way for your brain and body to get that relief. And when your nervous system gets sort of flared up and you're raging in some capacity, it looks for the path of least resistance, and which oftentimes is porn, because if we talked about, if the primary mode of access is your phone, there is zero barrier oftentimes, because it's like pull it out of your pocket, couple swipes, and you're there.
Yeah.
There is very little resistance.
And I'll tell you, if you're like, oh man, I don't know if I'm really dealing with a dysregulated nervous system, here's a good self-check. Okay. So if you notice that you go through your day to like, I'm cruising and then I hit kind of a crash, a physical crash or emotional crash. The reason for that go up and then crash down, is because what you're doing is riding this wave of nervous system energy. And then at some point, you basically burn all the fuel in the tank. And then emotionally, physically, you're just like, oh. So again, with guys, when I see that cycle of, man, you're riding that wave, and then you're stuck and you're lonely and you're just unmotivated and you're sad. It's like, okay, that's a get out of that cycle. Like, let's learn to notice it. First, when I'm the nervous system is turned on and it's cranking up.
My first question to ask people is, what are you feeling?
Yeah.
Can you name the feeling?
And actually, I think what you've helped me with too is to even slow that down to say, what are you sensing?
Yeah.
Like, before you start kind of categorizing it, what do you notice in your body?
Yep, that's right.
You're like, oh, I guess I didn't notice. Like, all my traps were tense, and I'm like, I got this
my shoulders are
feeling.
trying to high five my earlobes.
Yeah, right. Relatable. I'm gonna jump right into one practical exercise.
Do it.
The go-to I start with guys, because it's so easy and so powerful, is a breathing exercise.
Yep.
Learning how to breathe well. And here's why I say this, is because most often when your nervous system is hijacked, your body kind of relies on very short, shallow breaths, which starves your body of oxygen, and it, just trust me, it does some bad things. And it reinforces the idea in your brain and your body that I need to be on the go. So when you breathe deeply and slowly, not only do you give yourself more oxygen, you slow some systems down, and you're basically, just through this exercise, sending the message to your body, it's okay.
Yep.
You have permission to calm down.
Yep.
Man, it's so fascinating. So the easiest way I know to practically do this is what's called a 4x4 or box breathing.
Yeah.
And so it has 4 stages, and then each are done at least 4 seconds. So the 4 stages are breathing in through my nose, pause for 4
seconds. Yep.
Breathe out through my mouth for 4 seconds, and then again pause for 4 seconds. You want to try it?
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. I'm just going to do, because we're going to memorize it. All right, here we go.
Do this with us if you're watching. This is
Here we
for
go.
you.
And we'll count to 4 in our heads. Here we go. I love asking the question when I do this with a client, how does that feel? And even just doing it once.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I can just a little bit.
I already feel more relaxed. I noticed it immediately.
I know. Imagine doing that cycle at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
So good. Okay. What's another nervous system
I want to say one thing about the breathing.
Oh, breathing?
Why
Okay,
that's so
okay.
important. Your brain runs on oxygen. And
Ooh,
the
buddy.
easiest way I can illustrate this is thinking about how long could you go without food?
I forget the...
You could go a while, weeks, and not die.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable? Sure.
Yeah.
How long could you go without water?
I think that... Is it 3 days?
Something
With
like
zero
that.
water?
Yeah. How long could you go without oxygen?
Ooh, what is
Minutes.
Is minutes?
Minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you just
Sheesh.
keel over, pass out, and die. So I'm saying that to illustrate the importance of oxygen. Your brain has to have enough oxygen to function optimally.
Yeah.
So that's why breathing is so important as a initial exercise to sort of pull you from your limbic system back up to your prefrontal cortex, right? Your thinky parts, not your reacty parts.
I like thinky.
Thinky. I don't know why I thought of that. Was
It's
it
great.
Jurassic Park when making jokes? Tim's making jokes to Dr. Grant. He says something about a "Do you think Saurus?" I don't know.
Yes.
That's what I think about. That's dumb.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. And again, it's also calming your nervous system. So breathing is so dramatically powerful.
Yeah.
That it's like that's one of the things that we teach early on. Like lock this in.
Yeah. The other thing I would say that I give to clients, and sorry, I'm just piggybacking here and just throwing out ideas. If you can get the mental image of a child, if you're a parent, you know this firsthand. But think about when a child is really on edge or dysregulated, what is most impactful for them? And so one thing is safe, appropriate touch.
Mm-hmm.
So like coming close to that child, maybe putting your arm around them, maybe if it's received, giving them a hug and holding them. That is a very powerful way to regulate your nervous system because now you know oxytocin and serotonin are very relationally driven neurochemicals. So yes, they regulate our mood and tell our body it's okay.
Yeah.
But they need to be engaged through relational interaction.
Yep.
So goodness, I know that's tough for guys to be like, man, don't touch me. I get that. But sometimes it's just physical presence. I need to be with somebody, and that helps my nervous system be like, hey, I think I'm okay. I can calm down. The other thing I say with a child too is if you give them the space to talk it out, it could be garbled, nonsensical stuff when they're irritated or, dysregulated. Just them getting it out is what needs to be done.
Yeah.
They just needed to vent, I feel sad. Or they just needed to vent, like, that situation was really frustrating to me.
Yeah.
And then once the brain says, oh, okay, I can file that. It's completed. We don't need to hold on to it anymore. We adults need the same thing.
Right. Like we have to be reminded of this. Our nervous systems were literally built for co-regulation.
Oh, my goodness.
When I'm dysregulated and I'm in the presence of another nervous system who is not dysregulated but very regulated, my nervous system starts to regulate.
Yes.
And the same is true of the opposite. That's why we say our souls are permeable.
Yeah.
Right? We're relational creatures. If you're dysregulated and I don't have a good handle on my stuff, I could easily become also dysregulated.
Yeah.
Right? If you're married and your spouse is upset for something, not even at you, but just angry in general because of something that happened, what do you notice about yourself? Do you find yourself like elevating and like panicking and getting your nervous system all hopped up too? Or are you able to go, oh yeah, I see that she's angry and upset right now. I don't have to be.
Yeah.
I can be present with her in that, but I don't have to do that, dude.
So a negative way of saying it is if you're in these nervous system cycles or high elevated states and you're just trying to gruel through it in isolation, you're only feeding the problem.
Right. I don't want to say it's impossible, but you can.
Man, it's very difficult. Yeah. Yeah, because there's still that part of you, that human part of you. It's not, what do you want to use the term? Your inner child.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons I don't like that. But there's a part of you that still needs those same things. I need to be connected. I need to be, touched or heard or even just seen. And then my brain can say, it's okay. All right, we're going to wrap up here for today. So we've covered 2 out of 4, which I know. It's like, well, just tell me the other 2.
That won't end. I'm just kidding.
Stay tuned. In the part 2 of this conversation, we're going to actually talk about something we just keep on hitting at, but we're going to go into a little bit more depth of how actually connecting with people regulates your brain.
Yes.
And what it has to do with what we know in neuroscience. And we're going to help you think that through because we know, especially with a lot of guys, forming solid, meaningful relationships is a challenge. We get that. We know what it's like. The other thing that we're going to talk about too is informed by what's called cognitive behavioral therapy. Sounds really epic. CBT.
I thought it was DBT.
That's dialectical behavioral therapy.
I'm sorry.
There's a lot of letters thrown out there.
I was going back to cognitive behavioral therapy.
Oh, well, there's that too that we invented.
Right.
Thanks, Lulu and Jax.
To calm their puppy nervous systems.
They need the therapy, they're not ready to give it.
They don't provide it, they need it.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
The last thing is here, let me give you a really epic term. Cognitive restructuring. What's behind that is saying, I have the ability, I have the agency to actually change the way my brain thinks and operates. It builds structures of thinking and patterns. I have a lot more freedom and say in that than I think.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about that too, in terms of a lot of the thoughts that play in the background. And we're going to say, hey, actually, we can totally rebuild that.
Yeah. So come back next time, and we will teach you in the most practical sense that we possibly can.
Yes.
How to restructure your brain.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Again, if you're curious about next steps, or if you think that we could be helpful on that journey, please feel free to reach out to us through our website, rscky.com. You'll see a form that you can fill out to reach out to us. You can also reach out to us with a phone number too, and a real person will answer the phone.
Yeah, that's right. I gave my phone number the last episode. I'll give it again, 502-858-5859.
So please connect. We want to text
us.
you in person. This is not a sales pitch. We want to say, hey, how can we think through resources, next steps, even if we can refer you to another excellent person on the journey. So stay tuned and stay connected.
Yeah. We haven't said don't do this alone in a long time.
I know, we can't lose it.
Do you want to do it now?
1, 2, 3, go. Don't do this alone. See you guys.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. If you found this helpful, do us a huge favor and subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Or, better yet, send this to someone who needs encouragement.
For more tools, resources, and information about our coaching, check out rscky.com. Keep showing up.
Yeah,
We'll catch you next time.